So the Reef Restoration Program on Badgergull Island was a traditional owner-led project with our rangers and our partners. We've had workshops and planning meetings, and we've just completed the field surveying on Badgergull Island, where we did bird surveys, weed surveys and surveying the animals over on the island.
The Reef Authority is interested in investigating some weed and pest threats across islands in the Great Barrier Reef World Heritage Area to understand the severity and extent of potential weed and pest threats on high-value islands like Badgergull. Well, there's a huge benefit in partnering with the traditional owners. We've had a full day working together. We've learnt so much being able to walk together through country with people who have such a deep connection to this place. It's making sure that the things that we plan to do are respectful of the culture here. I think country will benefit. The Reef Authority and the Field Management Program will benefit from everything that we learn, and I think we just work more effectively that way as well.
Being on Badgergull Island, so that's our language name for Stevenson Island, bring it back to that perspective of the traditional names, gives us more ownership and more value on what we're doing here. Very important day today too. It's Anzac Day, it's a public holiday, but we've got to do these projects because they're very important to us and to the community. So the project we're doing is the restoration of reef islands and the threats to the island habitats like guinea grass, vines and any other invasive pests, rats, ants, anything like that. We're going through doing the ecological assessments today. Already we've discovered new species here, introduced, and we're hoping to find a lot more over the next 2 days.
Yeah, we're just doing a botanical survey here of Stevens Island and walking through the rainforest. One of the things we're doing is mapping all the different vegetation types on the island, but we're also looking to build up the species list for the island and that are forming this vegetation community. And Naomi, this one here we haven't seen yet. This is a understory tree. It's not on the list. Well, its name was Polyalthea australis, and it's in the custard apple family, the Ananaceae family, and just a small understory tree, pretty common rainforest tree on the east coast up into Cape York. We might just collect that, Naomi, and one of the things we do with some of these species is we collect a botanical specimen of these, and that helps us to verify its identification by taking it back to the lab. And we'll put it in this plant press here and dry the specimen. We'll put a tag on it and everything like that. And then tonight, back home, we'll confirm its identification. And if we didn't know what this plant was, then we'd send it to somewhere like the Queensland Herbarium or the Australian Tropical Herbarium, and we'd get that confirmation. But importantly also, you're collecting plants for your own herbarium for Mandubarra.
Yeah, I've started doing mine so that I've got our own herbarium for what's been on our country, on our sea country, not just here on the islands, but also doing it on the coastline of Curramine Beach and Cowley Beach. And looking at see what sort of vegetation and plant life we've got over here compared to over there. So it's very interesting, finding new species, and I love the idea of it, and for future identification and something that I've got to keep for identifying my trees and all my vegetation around in my sea country.
So what our job here on this survey is we're looking to find as many animals as we can, and also with a bit of an emphasis on seeing if we've got any invasive species. So what the team's doing here is we're collecting soil samples along this 50-metre tape that we've run out, and the purpose of that is to collect those samples, mix it all up, and collect 2 vials of the samples that we can send off to the eDNA lab. And eDNA is improving our methods to see if there's any eDNA in these soil samples. So that's the purpose of running this long tape and then collecting samples every 2.5 metres.
Basically, pick this site at the top of the ridge, it's close to spring. You might attract some feral animals such as cane toads, rats. So yeah, it's a good area for some. Check the DNA here.
It would be really great for Mandubarra to take on more of these projects so that we could go forward with the restoration of our reef islands to make sure that the flora and fauna aren't being invaded by invasive species, so that we can keep going back to the islands for many years to come. It's such a blessing that Mandubarra does get to look after these islands, because without us taking care of these islands, we don't know what condition that they would be in. It wouldn't be a place where people could go and visit. So it's really great that we get to look after these islands and make it a place that's beautiful and for people to come and visit for many years to come.
This helps us to rediscover our culture that was taken, denied from us. And we're working now with many departments, trying to bring it all back together so we all can benefit out of it. Western science and Indigenous cultural knowledge together completes the missing links. So it's not just the traditional owners that are going to benefit out of this, but every single Australian. That's what we're doing it for.